to your point about like the route that he takes through LA, that is something that is such a deep cut for people from Los Angeles. You're like, oh, I know exactly where he is right now.
People from Los Angeles, and I don't know if this is from any other city, people watching from that city, watching movies about that city, but it gives us a hard on if we like watch traffic or the streets being accurately depicted.
Oh my gosh, I get so excited.
You're back.
Hello, and welcome to Cinematics Problematics. I'm Chrissy Reddick.
And I am Erin Maxwell.
And today we're talking about the 1993 Joel Schumacher film, Falling Down. It follows a down-on-his-luck man named William Foster, a.k.a. D-Fens, over the course of a 24-hour period on a hot day in 1990s Los Angeles. Sitting in traffic, surrounded by a cacophonous crescendo of standard LA traffic stimuli, he abandons his car in the middle of the freeway and sets off a cross-city trek from East LA to Venice. Along the way, he takes out all of his pent-up resentments on a murderer's row of LA's archetypes that include a Korean shop owner, hostile Latino gang members, homeless people, fast food workers, construction workers, a neo-Nazi who owns a gun shop, and my favorite, his ex-wife. On the same side of town, LAPD Sergeant Pendergast is on his last day of work before retirement, but takes an interest in Foster's exploits and decides to get involved in tracking him down. As he deals with the prospect of abandoning a job he loves for the woman he loves, Pendergast becomes obsessed with bringing Foster in before he can get to his ex-wife. The film stars Michael Douglas, Robert Duvall, Barbara Hershey, Rachel Ticotin, D.W. Moffat, and Raymond J. Barry, and has a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. Erin, tell me about the first time you saw this film.
Today, or earlier this week, and it was a difficult watch. And the only reason I sat through it was because of you, Chrissy, because of my love for you. And
she's a great friend.
My love for this podcast. And every 20 minutes, I had to pause this fucking movie and take a little walk. And
it's understandable.
There's a couple things I love in this life. And one of the great loves I have in this life is of my city, Los Angeles. I do. I love the city.
I love movies about Los Angeles,
and
too.
I love movies. If I want to put myself in a happy, good space, I'll watch something by Michael Mann because there's nothing.
That's your happy place.
It is. You know why? Because he makes Los Angeles look beautiful.
Los Angeles looks great while it's being shot up. Yes.
Yes, it does. Every movie he does, despite the contents of the film, it's a love letter to Los Angeles. That is not the case here.
No, it is not the case.
It is. Los Angeles is a dirty, disgusting place, and you are being taken by the hand and being shown its underbelly. Yeah. On top of that, it is just filled with deranged, horrible characters that are kind of slightly badly written and not really fully thought out, but well acted. Sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely well acted.
Sure.
I mean, you can't help but have a well-acted movie when you include Michael Douglas and Robert Duvall and Barbara Hershey.
Yeah, no, it's a really well thought out cast put together by Joel Schumacher, which is questionable at best. The direction is fine. It's just the story itself is fucking all over the place, man.
Yeah,
let's dig into it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about the first time I saw this film and a little bit of an Los Angeles history lesson, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have to go over some history here. Recent history. But so the first time I saw this film, I saw everything in the theater opening weekend at this time. And so this was 93. I was about to become 15, so I was 14. I saw it with my dad. But I remember when the movie first, like when I saw the trailer for the movie, I was like, dang, that does not look good. That does not look like a good look. It looks like it was going to be kind of like this really angry white dude taking out his frustrations on a whole bunch of people in Los Angeles, which is true. That is what he does throughout the film with, Robert Duvall hot on his tail kind of, but it's like this, it's kind of like this weird fucked up allegory for all of the pent up frustrations people had about Los Angeles at the time. And at the time in 93, this was right after Rodney King beating. This was right after Latasha Harlins getting shot by a Korean grocer. And the Korean grocer, by the way, got a sense of community service after shooting this girl in the back of the head.
It was not the correct time for this movie to come out. And it came off as a white rage movie.
Yeah. And it is. It is kind of.
It wasn't. That is not an incorrect assumption of this film.
No, not at all. It's a perfect description of this film. And I mean, the tensions were already boiling over. That's why I was like concerned when this movie came out. I was like, are people going to get even angrier because of some of the depictions in this? And the weird thing about the movie is that, first of all, yes, it came out during a time when LA was already super tense, like with, like a lot of racial anxieties, racial tensions and everything. But also there were a ton of other movies coming out about gang violence. You had Boys in the Hood, you had Colors, you had
much better movies, much better points.
Yeah, you had
that were winning Oscars and winning awards and doing a better job than let's have a sympathetic character that we're supposed to feel sorry for because he stalked his wife.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I have so many mixed feelings about this film because it seems like it's trying to have it both ways.
It is.
Right? It's like it's trying to do this thing where they're like, yeah, don't you want to kind of cheer this guy on for some of the stuff that he's doing? And at the same time, like having him go after people that we think he should go after, like the neo-Nazi, where you're like, yay, I think, And at the same time, like woven throughout the story is him harassing his ex-wife and like basically saying, I'm coming over, whether you like it or not, even though that there's a restraining order, and sounding very menacing while he's doing this and terrifying her. You're kind of like, I understand some of this guy's frustrations, but this is kind of fucked up. Like this man has like some serious issues, and at the end of the day, he's just taking it out on everything but himself.
You can have a flawed, terrible character and make that the anti-hero and the focus of your film, something like Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
And have that be a successful film. Like Bad Lieutenant.
Well, no, I mean, look, anti-heroes are great.
Yeah.
I love them. They're very complex. They're very, they're fascinating character studies, but
they don't even necessarily need to be anti-heroes. They could just be villains and have that be the focus of your film. Right. And just have this be a breakdown of why this is the focus and why this is an interesting character piece. And it doesn't necessarily have to have a plot, and it could just be like, not necessarily we're getting from point A to point B in this plot. We're just going to follow that person and watch them throughout their journey throughout the day. And then the journey ends.
Right.
And that's it. This is attempting to do something more with that and give a message. But that message, as you said, is so muddled and so bizarre because of the decisions that he made. And I just don't feel that because of little like vignettes with the neo-Nazi and because like they're trying to make him out with these small points where like, is he supposed to be a hero here?
Right.
That it gets mixed.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally, it is. It's like, it's
so
like
bizarre.
It's like, you're like, yay, I like seeing neo-Nazis getting beaten up, but also, I mean, we can get in. We're getting into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the crimes against it, and then let's tease out each one of these scenarios. Because trust me, I wrote down every single one.
Yeah, it was a lot. All right,
so many.
It starts off where we have our main character, our quote unquote hero. We have Michael Douglas, which is William D-Fens Foster, crew cut. He's abandoning his Toyota Corolla in the middle of traffic. I drove a similar car in college.
Aw.
Yeah, very good. Not making traffic much better. And the first thing he does is that he wanders into a Korean grocery store, a bodega. And that first sin is sin against Asian Americans. So that is the first major issue, is this large scene in which he starts taking a bat to the entirety of the Korean grocery store because he disagrees with the prices. He disagrees with their change policy. He doesn't agree with inflation, and for whatever reason, he's taking it out on this clerk.
Well, and here's why the film has kind of a muddled message, right? Is that even like with the Korean grocer, they make him a dick. Right. He's just an asshole, and he's just like really grumpy. He doesn't want to help out Michael Douglas. He's just like, and it's like, the depiction isn't the best, and it's very cringy, and it gives an excuse to him to do what he does, right? Because if they made the Korean shop owner like just, a delightful person who's just doing their job, who's like, just saying like, sorry, we don't give change, you know what I mean? It's like that makes him a villain immediately. And the film is depending on us to
side with him.
To not make up our minds right away, at least, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that we can all relate to sitting in LA traffic, not moving, and just wanting to fucking take a bat to something. I think that we can all
on a hot day where you don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, no air conditioning. There's crying kids. There's sounds everywhere. There's cars honking. It's smoggy and gross. It's like, yeah, it's like we've all been there. I was born and raised here, and I still live here, and that feeling does not go away, unfortunately.
And the thing is, and I was explaining this to Chrissy earlier, and I'm sure Chrissy knew already, is like when you work these retail stores, you have a limited amount of change in your register.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't set by him. Even if he was the owner of that place, you can't run to the bank every 5 minutes every time someone needs change. You can't give change to everybody. It probably either wasn't his policy or it was made a policy because someone took advantage of that policy. Mm-hmm. So you just can't do that. It's not his fault. It wasn't his. You don't take it on him.
Right.
Okay. There are other things around the register, not a Coca-Cola he probably could have bought. He probably could have got some gum. Whatever.
By the way, when I heard that soda was 85 cents, I was just like, oh, those were the days.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Lovely. It's like my context around pricing has completely disappeared from the early 90s. And I mean, here's the thing though about that scene too, is that, and this is something I wonder how intentional it was, is that they do bury very common and very understandable frustrations into these scenes. Like, so when he doesn't get change and he starts going ballistic on the guy, like that's stupid, right? Like that's just him. And he's like saying like, do you know how much money like my country gives to your country? And like, your stupid accent. Like he's like saying all this terribly racist shit. But then like, he's like looking at the prices of everything. He starts taking a bat to everything. And like after asking how much it is, like he's like, how much is this? And like the grocer responds and he takes a bat to the entire shelf and he goes, too much. And I was like, you know what? I was in the beef section the other day and I wanted to take a bat to that fucking beef because it was too much too, Yeah. It's like there is like, I feel like this movie really is about like at its core economic anxieties. I really do. Like that's a big one because everybody is a victim to that, but he doesn't see that.
But we are not the only ones that took issue with it. Fun fact.
Tell me.
The portrayal of the Korean grocer in the film stirred up protests by the Korean American Coalition, who criticized how minorities were being treated in this film. And due to that, Falling Down was banned in South Korea.
Oh, well then. I mean, I kind of don't blame them.
No,
I don't blame them at all. I mean,
not at all.
And look, it's like, I think that these depictions are even worse, mostly because at the time, like it was still very difficult to get Korean representation, Latino representation, other than like being a gang member or some shit in a film. It was like, if you're gonna put them in there, it's like you got to mix it up a little bit, not just put them in there in the same light every single time. And at the time, there was this outsized fear of like gang members, like in East LA, and I'm going into East LA, I can't go there because I'm gonna get shot by a gang member. It's like they don't give a shit about you, like, you know what I mean? But this was it. And like in a world where we don't see that many Latino actors on screen in major roles outside of this, then it's bad. It's like even worse, right? Mm-hmm. So not good. And like, I remember even at 14, just cringing at this scene, just going, oh, fuck. But there were some people in there cheering. There were some people in my audience, and I don't remember exactly what theater I was at. Sometimes I can remember, but for this one, I don't. And I do remember people, like there were some dudes in there, and they were cheering when he was taking a bat to the shelves, and like as if he was like some hero, right? And I mean, and I think that once again, that is kind of fueled by how they chose to depict this, Korean shop owner as just angry and bitter and totally unhelpful, So it's just kind of like, yeah, fuck him, terrible.
Nexon. Speaking of racism against Latinos.
Yay!
Yay! So Michael Douglas, after destroying the shop, is now walking. He's walking down Cesar Chavez Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in Boyle Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is having his lunch in a park, and he is harassed by two gangbangers randomly.
Yeah, they just see him sitting there, and as gangbangers do, just walk up to somebody and start fucking with them for no good reason.
I forgot if they were robbing him or they're just fucking with him.
It was like you're in our territory, see the markings, and he says something like super duper racist, like, well, if you wrote it in fucking English, I'd understand it. You know what I mean? So once again, our anti-hero, whatever the hell you want to call this guy.
They pull a knife on him. He pulls out the bat. He starts to beat him with the bat, and then he takes their knife. And then in retaliation, they start to look for him. So they get a duffel bag of guns, which I think they were going to get anyway.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows? And
the daily duffel bag full of guns pickup.
Yeah. And they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when he makes a phone call to stalk his ex-wife, they shoot up their own neighborhood, killing dozens of innocent victims, but missing him completely.
Kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Kind
yes.
of funny. I mean, this movie has some kind of funny, dark comedy moments.
And then in the process of the getaway, killed themselves.
Yes. Yeah. In a car crash, right?
In a horrific car crash going probably 15 miles an hour.
Yeah. So as you know, gang members tend to do is like just totally seek out somebody on the street in a payphone, spot them
in the broad daylight. Probably 10 a.m.
Broad daylight, spray him with gunfire.
Yeah.
And miss him.
Completely. Like it was like a full round of like from an AK-47.
Yeah. No, it was, I mean, that was a kind of funny scene.
Yeah.
So they miss him and they get their comeuppance, right?
Yeah.
Because we want them to die because that's what all gang members do.
They turn a corner and immediately hit a telephone pole. And all of them die. Like 5 of them die immediately.
And you would think that if gang members were doing this as often, that they would not hit the pole.
Yeah.
They'd have like some better driving strategies there.
But they hit it like they were going 90 miles an hour. And then Michael Douglas finds them, takes the bag of guns, says something witty, and kills one of them.
Yes. Yeah. So that is racist incident number 2.
Yeah. The way that these gentlemen were depicted is that they were just depicted as low-level gang members with very little education, just hoods.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horrific depiction. The way that their girlfriend was depicted, the one girlfriend that she comes up again and again in the film because she's the only witness to the scene, and she's brought up by the police because the police don't believe her that a white guy like robbed the guns. Mm-hmm. It's just not a great depiction for Latino. No.
I mean, and look, it's like, I think that there's something different, like when you're trying to make like a film very authentically from like the viewpoint of somebody in that world and putting this kind of very one-dimensional depiction in a film where there's a white guy mad at everybody.
Yeah.
You know? It like takes on like a slightly different meaning. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's like they are bumbling. They're incompetent gang members, apparently, and then they just crash at slow speed into a pole, killing themselves, and Michael Douglas getting away. Ha ha.
Yeah, it was just super stereotypical. It was just kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and it was like before this, he was like saying, I don't want you guys in my backyard either. You know, it's just like, you people. Anyways.
Next one is bringing it down into sexism.
Oh,
yay!
One of our favorites.
We're going to chop this down into a couple categories because we're going to go into the sexism first of how women are treated, starting with the female police officer. I have her name written down. Do you have her name?
Yes, I do. It is Sandra.
Sandra, thank you.
Played by the amazing Rachel Tickerton of Total Recall fame.
Yes. And she's great actually in it.
She's so good.
She is great. And they're very competent.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only competent police officers in this film.
Oh, yeah. It's like her and Prendy.
Yes.
As I like to call him, Prendergast.
Yes.
It's easier than saying Prendergast.
But the way she is regarded by officers other than Prendergast is horrific.
Yeah. No, they don't respect her. They do not take her seriously at all. Like the only person that she really has a deep respect for is Robert Duvall's character.
Yeah. Detective Sandra Torres, she is called Lovebirds. Every time the other officers refer to her in Pendergrass, they always call them Lovebirds or a couple because of their close friendship. Just a super derogatory manner every time she says anything. It's made to seem like she didn't get to where she is in her career because of her hard work. It is simply she is there because she is a female and someone did a favor.
Right. And it's like because she's just like super close with like the high up guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is clearly not the case. I don't know how anybody else got their job, honestly. Everybody else seems like they are completely not equipped for their jobs.
I mean, do we think that that's like intentional? That is kind of like a trope.
Yeah,
in,
it is.
In films, like with police departments, is that like there's two competent guys in like the entire department. Everybody else is like walking around like eating donuts, you know, or complaining about paperwork or
They're
some
just
shit.
like fucking up the interrogations. They're
Yeah.
asking the wrong questions.
Yeah.
They're not getting it. And it's only up to like 2 officers to save the entire investigation. And everybody else is just letting it sink by asking the wrong questions, by looking at the wrong people, by blaming the victim. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's just a trope that you see in like shitty police movies.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, sometimes it's like pretty good comic relief, you know, like you, like, I mean, at least they did have the head police chief guy. That person is like never a good guy.
No,
are they? Like
no.
ever. It's like that person's always just gonna, they're always like yelling at people doing their jobs well.
In the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is like, I know not a lot of people have seen it recently, but you should go back and revisit. They do a really good job of making fun of that trope where the guy's actually really nice and really concerned about his entire staff. And like all the police officers really pissed about it. He's like, you're supposed to be a hard ass, man. He's like, I worked my way up here so you could be a hard ass. And he's all like, I've watched TV shows my entire life. You're supposed to be this dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but to your point though, it's like if this film is like kind of like showing all of like these different like institutions or, you know, different types of people that you see, or like these different like, you know, common representations of people who are in Los Angeles. I mean, once again, there was like a lot of criticism of the LAPD at this time, like a ton.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Like, so the depiction of them as like kind of not that great at their jobs. I mean, is that part of the commentary?
No, I think this is just shitty writing.
Okay.
I think this is independent of that. I think this is just Joel Schumacher going off and doing Schumacher-y things.
Schumacher-y things. Hence the word mockery. No. I'm kidding. I love Joel Schumacher.
Listen, he could do Schumacher-y things in other films.
Well, no, I mean, there's
a
a lot of mockery in this film.
Listen,
when you think about it.
I will never not watch Lost Boys. Clearly, I've based an entire personality off of it. It's
my
fine.
God. She has based her entire personality off of Lost Boys and Showgirls. Don't forget Showgirls.
Yes, but we're just talking Schumacher territory.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so sexism in the police department.
All right, so that's one point of it. Another part of kind of sexism has to do with the fact of the stalking of the ex-wife and how the ex-wife is perceived by the LAPD every single time she makes a complaint. She is just excused. She is just, well, we checked it out, ma'am, and there doesn't seem to be anything around. It's like, well, what am I going to do? It's like, well, maybe you should give more money to the police department so we can hire more people to protect good citizens like you. And then they just kind of walk away.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you know what? Here's where I think the film did a kind of good job is in showing like how victims of like domestic violence just the police don't give a shit about them.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is realistic. That was like a very realistic depiction. It's like, and that's what happens. It's like, they're like, well, there isn't an immediate threat, so I'm going to go. I'm going to walk away. Or they're, you know, like he's not right here, right now with a gun in his hand. So that's not an immediate danger. So I'm going to walk away and you're on your own, you know? And it's like, and it's always the stories that you hear on the news, like where these women die somehow.
Yes.
And they've called the police already 4 different times on 4 different occasions and nothing fucking happened.
But here's where my issue is. And my issue is this. You're absolutely correct. in the fact that this is very well depicted because it's truth, but because of how the other women are handled in this film, I don't know if that was done on purpose or if that's just a happy accident.
Well, I mean, they spend so much time on it. And they make the cops not look great. And that's what makes me think it was probably somewhat on purpose.
All right.
You don't have to give it the benefit of the doubt. I will give it the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
I will take one for the team. All right.
All right.
I will be the apologist for this film. I will do it for the two of us. I promise.
All right.
I got you.
And then the final part of the sexism argument has to do with how Tuesday Weld was handled, which is the wife.
Yeah.
Which is part of the background story that has to deal with Sergeant Pendergrass's story, is the fact that he has lost a daughter.
Yeah.
And because of that, his wife is very nervous. She clearly has some sort of a mental illness.
Well, it also seems like she thought he was in too much danger being in the field too.
She doesn't want to lose anybody else.
Right.
And that is very clear. She wants them to retire in good Arizona, where they will be happy, where they will be bored, where they will be safe. Because this is clearly something that, since their daughter has died, has weighed on her mind a lot, because she is afraid of being alone and she's very scared.
Right.
And clearly her mental illness has never been addressed, or it has, but not to an extent where it's been solved or it's been helped in any way.
Right. And she is like this character who will like repeatedly call her husband throughout the day.
Yes.
You know, somebody who is very, I hate to use the word needy, but she is needy. Like, she needs a lot of comfort. She needs a lot of attention. She needs to hear his voice, and she needs to know that he's coming home. You know, like, she's just like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? You're not going to do this, right? You're going to come home. So they kind of make her out to be a nag.
They do. And in the beginning, when you first meet him and her and you see their dynamic, he treats her very lovingly.
Oh, yeah.
He sings to her. He treats her with kid gloves. He very much adores her in every way.
Yes.
And then as the film goes on, she becomes more and more of a nag, and he loses more and more of his patience.
Well, also, another thing that gets sprinkled in as we learn she's more of a nag is the fact that he doesn't really want to retire.
No,
and that he's doing this for her, and they're moving, what is it, to like Lake Tahoe or something like that?
No, it's like something other in
Havasu.
Arizona, right?
Havasu.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh man, that doesn't sound cool. But like, they're moving to Lake Havasu, and it becomes apparent that he is not doing this for him. He is doing this for her. And as this is also happening, he's taking more and more of an interest in this guy, D-Fens, who's doing all this fucked up shit across the city, you know? And it's like, he just seems like deeply disturbed, and somebody who has just had enough and has lost his identity and like doesn't know who he is. So you have two of these guys together in the same film, like representing two different forms of kind of masculinity, but losing their identity, and they're dealing with it in completely different ways.
He's the only one competent enough to put the pieces together. He's the only one that was like, guy in a white shirt, guy, the white guy, same neighborhood. He's like, oh, I can see this guy's like, he was here earlier. I can see this guy walking down LA. The timeline is correct. And he's the only one putting it together.
Right. You know, I mean, he's an exceptional cop, apparently, you know, and it looks like the force doesn't want to let him go. Nobody wants to let him go.
He's the only one with a map.
That is also possible. Yeah. I mean, he's like saying, did you look at where this guy was, and like tracing it for these cops? Like he just like, here's one clue, and he's like, are you guys even fucking doing your jobs?
Yeah, he's all like, this guy was 6 blocks from here, and earlier he was like 5 blocks from here, and now he's 3 blocks from here. It's
because
like,
the cops are too preoccupied trying to plan his going away party or something.
Yeah,
you know?
He's all like, I was just in Party City, man. I don't have time to look at 2 blocks and 3 blocks. I was getting you streamers.
Oh my God. The way that they treat Robert Duvall's wife Prendy's wife in the film, it's not good. She becomes kind of like a hoppy, as they would say.
Right.
And, you know, and towards the end, it's like, it's so weird because Prendy is like such a great character and so sweet and emotionally available, like one of your like rare emotionally available kind of stable dudes, you know. And then he kind of explodes on her like later on, you know, like trying to like reaffirm like his manliness and like his identity, and that's how he does it. And is that, I mean, are we supposed to be cheering that on? Once again, they make the character who's on the opposite end of it so fucking annoying that it seems fine. It seems justified when it's kind of a dick move. For a character who is otherwise somebody I want to hang out with like all the time. I do. Wait, what does the whom mean?
I just am agreeing with you. I'm like,
is that what agreement sounds like? I need it to be more emphatic.
Yes. Yes.
Talk to me, Goose. Okay.
That kind of brings us to the most pivotal scene.
Ooh, okay.
This would be the Nazi scene.
Oh, I mean, we're kind of forgetting about construction workers and fast food workers, but yes, let's get to the Nazi.
Oh, well, good. We can talk.
No,
about...
I think that those are like
I do have
those
that
are like lesser offenses that we can tack on.
I do have that. I have that written down. I also have how the treatment of the unhoused in this movie.
Oh, you say unhoused. I've been saying homeless. I'm such a dick.
Well, I've been saying because like the unhoused come off as all con artists.
I heard that there's like a backlash to the word unhoused, but I don't know.
I'm trying to be respectful. So whether or not you say unhoused or whether or not you say the homeless.
I'm giving you shit.
In this movie, they're treated as con artists. Like everybody is like just in it for a scam. Like no, everybody like being unhoused or being homeless is a choice. And they're just in it for the free lunch.
Oh yeah. No, they're totally in it for oh no. Actually, they're in it for the money, for the free handouts.
And the briefcase.
They're in it for the money or for the cigarettes or for something like that. It's not really about the food, you see, because when D-Fens hands him his briefcase and there is actual food in there.
Yeah. He
throws
the sandwich, throws the apple at him.
Yeah, he's pissed off because it's not money. And as we all know, all homeless people are really faking being hungry, as we all know.
As we know.
And they instead use hunger as an excuse just to rip you off.
We could talk about a little bit of the homophobia in this movie, which kind of goes back to the Nazi scene.
Yes, let's go for the Nazi. Let's do it. Let's dive in.
Yeah, that's why I was just kind of like, it's all building towards this Nazi scene, so I was just going to jump in feet first. So at one point, Crew Cut notices that there's a giant hole in his shoe. Like a huge hole in his shoe. So he needs to go get new boots. So he goes into an army surplus store that's located on Melrose. Or not Melrose, on Wilshire. And in it is run by Nick, who's played by Frederick Forrest. He is a violent, fascist, openly homophobic, very racist ex-soldier who runs this army surplus store. And takes a liking to Crew Cut. Thinks that they're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, he's just like him.
Yes, exactly. Immediately chases two homosexual gentlemen out of his store with his disgusting banter.
It's pretty bad.
And then immediately takes D-Fens under his wing and wants to show him all of the goodies that he has in his basement.
Yeah. And so they get into the basement and you tell the story.
Well, in his basement, he has a whole bunch of collectible items and some guns.
You want to say a little bit more about those collectible items, Erin?
Well, he has a whole bunch of Nazi paraphernalia. Some of it he made, some of it he collected, and he has guns. Large amounts of guns.
He takes some pride in like a canister that was actually used to gas Jewish people.
Yes, he has a used canister that was from the gas chambers in Auschwitz that he shows off. He has lots of old memorabilia. He has lots of guns. He has lots of banners, and he has, what else does he have down there, Chrissy? He's got
oh god, no, I mean that's pretty much that covers it. I mean he has a bazooka, which will come in handy.
Later on.
Is it a bazooka? It's a bazooka, right? I don't know guns. It's a missile launchy, like it's a 1-tube missile launchy thing that I'm guessing is a
handheld missile launcher.
Yes. Yeah, well said. Okay.
All right. If that is a bazooka, then there you go. But I am so happy that we just don't know that offhand.
I know.
I'm fine with that.
I'm proud of us. I feel like such a good little pacifist.
Yeah.
Okay. Go a little bit more into what happens in this scene.
D-Fens immediately takes offense to it and says, I am not like you. And then he gets into a little kertuffle.
Yeah. It's as if he meant to say like, my form of racism is way more chill than your form of racism. This is bad racism. Mine is totally understandable racism.
Did not like the mirror that was being held up to his face.
No.
And Nick did not like the fact that D-Fens was getting offended here. So they start to fight. And so Nick starts to, he knocks him out around the head.
And like he turns him around and makes him kind of spread eagle.
He's going to rape him.
It's very Pulp Fiction-y.
Yeah. It is clear that what is happening, there is a close-up on his lips and he's getting aroused by the situation.
Yeah, it's so gross.
And it is clear that I don't know what the implication is that Nick is a homosexual and he's hiding it, or that there is a violence there, or he is enjoying the power of it. There is something that is odd in this power dynamic, but it is clear that they are implying that he is going to be raped.
Yes, that's definitely what it seems like is about to happen, because he's like behind him and he keeps on repeating the same phrase over and over and over
there's
again.
And close up of his lips and he's salivating.
It's bad. Yeah. And so at this point you're like, forget about the comparison between these two guys. Just get out of there.
Do you remember that knife that crew cut picked up from the gangbangers early on?
Oh
yeah.
Chekhov's gangbanger knife.
Yes. That comes in handy again.
Yes.
Because he gets to pick that up and use it on good old Nick and stabs him through the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shoots him and then apparently shoves him into a display cabinet, which he does off screen. We don't get to see that part.
I mean, who wouldn't? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad that we don't get to see that part. But
right. I mean, if there's any character where you're just like, I don't give a shit what happens to this guy, it's this one pretty much. But the weird part about it is that the sadness of the scene is because D-Fens has no idea that he is just one step below becoming this guy.
Yeah.
Like he's so close. It's like he's already, mouthing off to, different racial groups and stuff and homeless people. Like he hates everybody. Like he just does not have a lot of love in his heart at all. And, he's going around and kind of assaulting people. And this is the scene where I think it's like the first time he kind of like breaks bad. Right? Like because he finally shoots him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the first time he's killed anybody in the film.
Yeah.
So this is his turning point. This is a very pivotal moment for his character. And I guess we're not supposed to feel, I don't know, it's a heroic point because we're supposed to really hate Nick. But it's not a hero. He's not a hero. Because
I remember people like cheering at the scene when I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, because later on, I forget if it's before the scene or after the scene that we also meet his mother. And then we find out that he's been bullying his mother as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, when Prendy and Sandy, like they go over to the mom's house and we find out that he just has like a history of violent behavior. It's not like just contained to like his wife.
Yeah, he's just been menacing.
Yes, he's just like not a good dude. He's just had a lot of anger issues. He's like worked in like the defense department, I believe, or like in like for a defense contractor or something like that, which is why he's has that license plate D-Fens. And that he's just a maladjusted guy. And like, so you're getting to like very gradually, you're getting like this portrait of this guy who's like, okay, so he's like worked for the government. He lost his job. He was laid off. He feels underappreciated. He is ragey at his wife. He has a restraining order. He can't see his child. Some things are totally of his doing and other things are not.
Right.
Either way, he just has no capability of taking responsibility and looking inward and saying, how do I fix this? He's like, everybody else is my problem.
Right. He doesn't understand that any of it is his doing. He continues to go to work like he has a job for the last month.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, when his mother describes what it's like to live with him, she says he just sits there and doesn't speak. And I'm afraid to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that he is going to hurt me.
Right. And so like anybody who was like cheering at the beginning of this film, hopefully has turned a corner when we start to hear about all of like these things that kind of like fill in his inner life, I guess. But it is interesting how they're also folding in these ideas about these things happening to him that are very relatable that would piss anybody off, like losing your job, right?
Right.
And like one scene I do want to call out because I feel like it's like it's kind of almost like the most important scene in the film, to me at least. And it's not the neo-Nazi scene. It's not anything that we've talked about so far. But as he's walking across the city, he runs into this guy outside of a bank who's holding up this sign. And he's wearing the same outfit that he's wearing. And he's screaming about, like, he's like, I guess I'm not economically viable. And he has a sign that says not economically viable on the sign. And he's just yelling into the ether, like outside of this bank. And like, but he's talking about, I'm not worth anything. I guess because I don't have money, I don't count, you know? And he catches Michael Douglas's eye. And they kind of like, he watches this guy just ranting. He's just like kind of mesmerized by him in a way. And then he watches as the cops come and take him away. And as he's being driven away in this car, they kind of like share this moment where they lock eyes, and D-Fens kind of like just gives this nod to him, just kind of like, I see you.
And
like,
he says, you're going to forget me.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he nods, and he goes, yeah. And he's like, that was a very powerful
It
scene.
was. It's a super powerful scene, but I think he's like the one person yelling into the air that Michael Douglas does not assault like in this film, you know? And I think it's because like they are both on the same page. It's like he finally saw somebody who was saying something that he feels very, very deeply. Right.
Yeah.
And I think something that is, you know, especially today, like when I was rewatching the scene, I was like, fuck, that's deep. Like, it's a very simple concept, but that is it. Like, that is it. That's why everybody hates each other right now. You know what I mean? And it's all because of money, and it's because of class, and it's because of what I have and what you don't. And it's about these guys up here who keep on telling us that we're the problem with each other when it's not. You know what I mean?
One of the scenes that kind of stayed with me that we haven't talked about is the scene where he jumps the fence into the rich person's yard and he gets caught on the barbed wire. And then he sees the family barbecuing and he immediately starts yelling at them. He's like, are you going to put barbed wire on there to keep me out? And this is just after he had cut across a golf course and was yelling at rich people for keeping other people out of the golf course and caused the heart attack of one of them. And so he's yelling at the rich people, and it turns out that they're not rich people. It turns out this is like the landscaper, or
who's
the
like
gardener.
who's just hanging out at the house while the employers are away.
Yeah, he brought his family there because the people who do own the property are not there that weekend. So he just wanted his family to have a nice weekend. So they kind of like snuck onto the grounds and were enjoying like
pretending to be rich people for like a weekend, for a weekend, you know?
And here comes Michael Douglas, and they thought he was part of the security team. And they realized quickly that this is just an unhinged motherfucker.
And they actually empathize with him, and they treat him with kindness. And this is like the moment like where Michael Douglas's character like shows a lot of vulnerability. He just like breaks down, and he's kind of cowered into a corner like a little kid.
Because he doesn't want to hurt them, and he realizes that these people are like him in a way.
Yeah.
And at some point the father says, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. Just let my family go. And Michael Douglas is appalled at this gesture. And he's like, I don't want to hurt you, man. He's like, I'm a father too.
He's like, how dare you think I would even hurt you? It's just like,
Yeah. And
maybe it's the gun.
Scared. And then you're like, wait, is he going to hurt him now that he made this assumption that he's going to not be hurt?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's like a classic example of somebody like getting really pissed off at an idea projected onto them when it is totally them.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, but it is like one of those really interesting scenes because you're just like, oh, he's going to go beat up some rich people now, but they're not at all. And, you know, they're just like a family who's just, you know, kind of taking advantage of like a house. I'm sure they'll clean it up afterwards, whatever. It's fine. And it's just, once again, it's like an example of kind of like this economic inequality kind of thread that is throughout the film.
Right.
You know, and like this talking about like the us versus them thing, and what are the things that is causing that wedge. And I think that's why that scene is great, is like amazing. And like the not economically viable scene is also just like branded in my brain again.
It's very interesting because very rarely do you see Los Angeles kind of depicted correctly in the way that this is, like, kind of like the way he's walking and the path that he is walking is correct.
Yes, it is.
It's a very correct path. Like, through the bad neighborhood, through the good neighborhood, through the slightly bizarre neighborhood, getting to Venice Beach. If you're going to Venice Beach right now, Venice Beach is like a weird, fucked up neighborhood now where you have the uber wealthy with the uber, it's like, it's where crime meets art is the way I describe it. It's like you have extreme poverty with extreme wealth and it all lives together.
Right.
In one socioeconomic mishmash.
And let me just tell you, when I saw Barbara Hershey's house in this film and it's like right next to like the pier, I was just like, that's got to be worth $10 million at this point, that house. I like wrote that in my notes.
I was looking at that and I'm like, I bet you she bought that for chump change and it's probably a $4 million house now.
At least. And she's like, I have so little money. It's like, bitch, you're going to be a millionaire in like 10 years.
10 years from now, you're going to be fine. Fine. And then you're going to have 12 tents in front of your house. And you're still going to be fine.
Oh,
you just got to get a better fence. You're going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
You're going to be great. Someone's going to bulldoze your house. They're going to build some sort of square monstrosity.
Yeah.
It's going to be like slate gray.
No, but I mean, to your point about like the route that he takes through LA, that is like that is something that is such a deep cut for people from Los Angeles who are like, oh, I know exactly where he is right now.
It is, okay. People from Los Angeles, and I don't know if this is from any other city, of people watching from that city, watching movies about that city, but it gives us a hard on if we like watch traffic or the street being accurately depicted.
Oh my gosh, I get so excited.
It gets so excited because like you rarely see it. Like especially like a perfect example is like Pretty Woman. Like the beginning of Pretty Woman, like to get from Hollywood to Beverly Hills, they first they go to Santa Monica, then they go to the Valley, and then they go
right.
Like it's just not correct.
No. Okay, another one. 24.
Oh yeah,
24. Okay, first of all, there should be at least 4 episodes devoted to Jack Bauer stuck in traffic.
Yes,
number 1. And then like he would call out intersections that don't exist. He's like, I'm at the corner of Burbank and Moore Park. It's like, fucker, those don't intersect. Like it doesn't happen. So, but the fact that like this movie is a quintessential like LA film, like regardless of how you feel about it, right?
Right.
It is super trying to expose and tease out all of these anxieties that existed in Los Angeles at the time that a lot of people thought and it put it on film. It said, fuck you to all of us and said, it's like, no, I'm going to show a really terrible depiction of a Korean grocer. There you go. I'm going to show you some Latino gang members. There you go. I'm going to show you the homeless. I'm going to show you construction workers because there's construction everywhere during that time. I mean, Speed, one of the key pivotal moments in Speed is devoted to jumping a gap in a freeway under construction that has not been finished yet. Like all of these things are super relatable things, especially if you've lived here for a while. And even if you are really disturbed by like the depiction of some of the racial groups in this film, it's like, but those are part of the fabric, you know? Like they were very much part of the fabric of the city. Like minorities are a huge part of the city.
And in 1993, like how those areas were depicted, that was all correct. Like those areas were correct, except for the one area where he buys the snow globe, where they were trying to depict it as a bad neighborhood that was right in front of the Variety building. Oh. And you're like, that wasn't a bad neighborhood.
That was a great neighborhood.
That was Beverly Hills. Like, yeah, you can dress it up all you like. It's a bad neighborhood. That was a pretty great neighborhood. That was directly across the street from the La Brea Tar Pit. It's pretty. That was always a pretty dope neighborhood.
We're right there right now. We're very close to it as we speak.
That was, listen, it got hit by the riots at that time. It did. It got hit really badly by the riots, but it only got hit by the riots because the May Company used to be right there and it was just looters.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, and also the Big Five was right there. And
you know
it got hit by the looters.
You know what I wonder that I did not look up, but I totally want to look it up after we're done with this, is whether or not there was a scene that depicted Black people really badly and they just cut it because of the Rodney King stuff and everything. Like if they just didn't want to go there. Because of maybe of like what they experienced during filming. Like you had like a fun fact about that. Like they had to stop filming because they were filming like in the middle of the riots.
Yeah. At some point during filming, because they were filming in Linwood, their riots were actually broke out during that time because they were filming in 1992 and it got so dangerous that they had to bring some of the scenes to a soundstage during that time. So this was filmed during those times, and then they released it, and it was all just timing wise, it was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would have been a bad call.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few bad calls in here already, but that would have been probably the worst call you could have made given the timing.
Anyway,
do you want to talk about the last part of the film, really fast?
Yeah. So the film ends. It ends at where LA ends, at the docks. Mm-hmm. Perfectly ending our walk from downtown to 22-mile hike. Mm-hmm. So he spends 14 hours walking from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. or walking 22 miles. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll give you that. Fast walker.
He does not walk fast, but okay.
Yeah.
It's movie magic.
Yeah, movie magic. All right, we'll give him that. Whatever. So he's at the pier and he has the big standoff. He goes to meet his wife and it doesn't go very well. His daughter barely recognizes him. It kind of takes her by force. It's a very hostile situation, but Pendy is there waiting for him. Mm-hmm. And there is a standoff. And crew cut says that he has a gun. In the beginning, he does, in fact, have a gun. And he puts it down for a moment, and Barbara, she kicks it away. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Pendy pulls another gun on him, and then he says he has another gun. And just as he's about to reach it, Pendy shoots him, and it turns out his other gun is a water gun.
Well, and he made a comment previously to being shot too, which was along the lines of I'm surrounded, I guess. If I pull this gun, I'm dead. Right? It's he knows what's up. He knows what he's about to do. He knows it's the end of the line. He's literally at the end of a line. He's at the end of a pier. His path is done. It's very symbolic. The way that they kind of shot it. You have these two men at the end. And if you accept that the film is about kind of these two different approaches to how men assert their masculinity and their identity, it's a pretty interesting way to end the film. You have the standoff between these two opposites of how they deal with it, at the end of this pier. And one guy has a future ahead of him. He knows this. He can just walk back. But for Michael Douglas, he knows that this is the end of the line. There's no getting away at this point. And he probably made that decision a long time ago, right? Yeah. He probably made that decision in the middle of the movie. This is done. I'm not going to see my daughter, and I am not for this world very long. And because he just doesn't know what to do with all this anger. And he's lost. So he gets shot. He dies. Barbara Hershey and her daughter allegedly go back to the house, I hope, and live in it for a while. And, Prendy stops being a cop. Or no, he continues being a cop. Sorry. He continues to be a cop. He gets out of his retirement, right? And he's I'm going to stay. I'm not going to go to Lake Havasu. So fuck you, wife. Seriously.
The end.
The end.
The end. Everybody's happy.
All right. Moment of truth. Are we checking or cherishing?
I never need to see this movie again. I'm fine. I could live a long, happy life never watching this movie. I am never, it has made no impact on my life whatsoever.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to have a surprising answer for you. And that is that I'm in the cherish lane, and here's why. First of all, Michael Douglas is incredible in this. He's fucking fabulous in it. So is Robert Duvall. So is Rachel Ticotin. Everybody is firing on all cylinders, despite the fact that a lot of the characters that Michael Douglas encounters during the course of the film are caricatures, very one-dimensional, But even so, he's incredible in it. Secondly, once again, just seeing LA depicted this way, from end to end, from starting off in East LA and then roving through middle-class neighborhoods to richer neighborhoods, on golf courses and over by the water. That was that's fucking real. That is such a real thing about LA.
That was my favorite part. That was my absolute favorite part.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally understandable. And here's the more difficult part for me. When I rewatched this film, I think I had a newfound appreciation in a weird way for it given today where we're at. Because once again, we have a male loneliness epidemic, allegedly, right? People are talking a lot about it.
Sure.
This guy looks like if the internet existed back then, that he would probably be some kind of red-pilled incelish type of dude, with a ton of guns in his basement.
There's no doubt in my mind that this guy would be on the internet complaining about how do I get my child back? What do I do? My woman is not happy.
Or why do women not want to date me?
Yeah.
Like women are bitches
just
or whatever.
Typing one-sided Reddit stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's always in the am I wrong subreddit.
Yeah. Like, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
And like people are like, I don't know, man. This sounds really one-sided.
They're like, dude, I looked at your history and you're always the asshole. You're just an asshole.
You liked a lot of weird shit in your history. We can see that, right?
Yeah. So, okay. But I also think that once again, this was 30 years ago. And if you fast forward, it's 32 years ago, Jesus. If you fast forward from like a lot of the themes that are being exposed in this film to today, they're so much the same, but they're worse. Like, and I'm talking about like the economic shit. Like, I barely even hear about gangs anymore. Like, I don't even know where gangs are. I don't think gangs are in anymore. Like,
I live in the valley. They're fine. They're good.
And
They're cool.
I mean, it's like, and yes, it's like you have like some people who own like bodegas or groceries, like convenience stores that are, that are immigrants. And it's like, that is still very much a thing. Have I met one that acted like this? No. Yes, those were very not good depictions, right? But at the same time, I do think that it shows how these kind of feelings of kind of like white male resentment or angst started and how it has continued to this day and how it has been blown up today too. And I wonder what would happen and how this film would be received if it was out today. Because I think that you would have half the people saying, fuck yeah, go D-Fens. You'd probably have people wearing D-Fens hats. You'd probably have people like celebrating this guy and totally relating to him and cheering on every single fucking thing he did. But you'd also have half of the country being horrified by it. This movie would not, like, you would not be able to get away with this shit today. Like, you just wouldn't be able, like, the depiction of the grocer and the gang member, I don't think that would make it today.
I mean, when you think of movies that like kind of bro culture celebrates, you think of like Fight Club. Sure. You think of like, this movie isn't really part of that conversation.
It's definitely not a Fight Club, but I think that it does tap into these feelings.
It does. But I just think that so much time has passed that current culture has forgotten it to a degree.
I think that it's the same issues just in a different form now. I think that they've just kind of like taken a slightly different shape and a larger shape. Because once again, like the guys like D-Fens have a lot of voices, a lot of very influential voices online nowadays, and that wasn't a thing back then. I mean, maybe radio or something, like you had like, your Rush Limbaughs or something on radio, whatever. But the algorithm has made that so much more powerful, and so much more widespread. So I do wonder, I have so many mixed feelings about the film, but I err on the side of saying you should watch it and make up your own mind, knowing that it doesn't do everything perfectly by a long shot. And I don't think they try to make him out to be a hero by the end. I really don't.
I mean, Schumacher has gone on record to say that he doesn't want him to be a hero. It's just that I feel like in the way that it is framed and filmed, it just comes off that way sometimes. Sure. And I feel like it's not responsible filmmaking 100%.
Well, yeah, and we're looking at it from like a very modern lens too, right?
That is true.
There were things like back then that you could get away with that you cannot get away with today.
But also, like, that was an issue back then as well.
Yeah. I think like one of the things that I maybe somewhat appreciate about it is that it produced a lot of super messy feelings in me, right?
Yeah.
And there were moments where I was enraged. There was moments where I was just like, fuck yeah, like I can relate to that, and I think that some of the things and the themes are universal for most of us. But yeah, I don't want to write it off because of that messiness and that discomfort. I want to kind of remember it because it made me uncomfortable.
I don't mind being uncomfortable by a film, and I don't mind messy themes. God knows I watch enough horror films.
Yes, she does.
Like, do all those things. And I'm not talking about run-of-the-mill Jaws either. I'm talking about the deep-cut horrific stuff that you're not allowed to talk about in public. Mm-hmm. But like, so I don't mind that by any stretch of the imagination. It's just when irresponsible filmmaking and shoddy filmmaking and bad storytelling sometimes. And I think that this film has a little bit of all that.
Yeah.
And that's where it loses me as a film lover.
Right.
I feel like even though the performances are fantastic, and they are, they're great performances all around by everybody. And it's awesome to see Tuesday Weld because I hadn't seen her in a very long time. And it's great to be reminded that she exists in general. I just feel that there's a story here that could have been told better.
Okay. No, that's fair. And it could be told better for sure. But taking it for what it is, I think that a lot of the themes would resonate even today.
Right.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate your take, even though it is different than mine. You're wrong, but it's fine.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong too. And that's what I love about you.
That's what I love about you too. Okay. All right. So we are done. I think that, do what you will with this film.
Go out. Whatever.
I don't know. Go visit a bodega and share your appreciation for the owner. That's all I'm going to say. It's just
treat retail people with respect unless they're neo-Nazis.
Yeah. Beat up the neo-Nazis. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
That's cool.
All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening, and we shall return next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.